God, what the hell is that?
I'm the sheriff. I'm the sheriff.
You're the police. Where are your badges?
I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
That's because I'm a star. I'm a genuine sports personality and a legendary folk hero.
Jesus Christ.
There he is. Very bad as Captain Joe. Even the guards are terrified of him.
You can call me when I have to call my lawyer. They bring me a telephone. Would you like to leave me your home phone number?
I don't want to hear any of this. I don't want to hear no more of this.
Wait a minute, I'm just getting to the weird part.
The weird part.
Yeah, it gets weird.
Say we take off, meet the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Let's do it.
Can you do that?
I can do anything. I'm the chief of police.
Good morning. It's Friday. I'm very excited by that prospect. Fridays are usually pretty good, and we already got a pretty good crew in here. Welcome aboard. Man, I had the weirdest. So, God, what a disaster. I get up. Okay. No rebellion stream today. Okay. I get up early. I get the dog's dog to get everything done. I did. I come in. I set up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. Well, I got Wayfair. Check that out. Like and sub helps the algo. No, it helps me. It helps me. The algo got nothing to do with it. But thank you so much, Wayfair, for doing the heavy lifting. I appreciate that. I come in. I get all set up. I get ready. I get so far down the road. I get the stream like, okay, we do this, we do that. Get the thumbnails all together, all that nonsense. So I'm set up and ready to go. I was horsing around with Streamlabs yesterday. I got it all set up real cool. Okay, great. Power goes off. I'm like, get out of here. I am like not even through the intro. Goodbye. I go to bring it back up real quick. It's just one of those, it's out just long enough to reset the clocks and turn me off, right? I'm like, oh. So I go to set it back up. If you shut down Streamlabs without the proper process, my UI, when it came back up, my whole screen, everything was like, holy shit, what happened here? I don't have, none of the docs were in the right place, and none of my stuff was there. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I'm scrambling to put, I'm like, oh God, you gotta get StreamYards going. And then I did that. All my tabs are gone from any news we're going to do. So we're going to wing it today, which is good. It's Friday. Supposed to do that kind of thing. Plus, we've been doing this long enough. I get to climb into StreamYards and at least fake it for today. So there, we did that. But man, did that freak me out for a minute. Luckily, I was like, okay, it's Friday. Nobody's going to really get too bent. Ain't nothing else going on. So, okay. I got some time to check out what's going on. And here we are. And I dig me some Friday. We got the week behind us. We got some stuff coming up. Me and Mrs. McCoy got some stuff to do this weekend, so that'll be fun. Tomorrow looks like there's going to be a good one for me. I might do a little gaming stream tomorrow, because Mrs. McCoy's got some stuff to do. First part of the day, I don't need to be involved in. I'm like, ooh, I got some stuff. And since somebody in this crew who shall remain unnamed, Marianne, thought it'd be funny to get me hooked on Dinkum, I might do that in the morning. See if we can murk up that shopkeeper that's overcharging us. Morning, everybody. Marianne, first one in the door. Like 2 or 3 times since OBS and Streamlabs decided to get all crazy when you turn the power off quick on them. Darth Yeager, Dark Lord of Cinema. and Jaeger, apparently. Spider. Wayfarer came in to do the heavy lifting. Cole Hauser come in. Morning. I was watching I didn't get through it. Because it was up this morning. I was doing stuff yesterday afternoon. I wasn't really watching. And apparently the Doomsday trailer, Chris Gore, I guess, was at CinemaCon and got a look at it. And then he texted Nerdrotic, and Nerdrotic spent 3.5 hours, I think, looking for it yesterday because he couldn't find it. The first 20 minutes that I watched, he couldn't. He couldn't find it. All right, Wayfarer, we'll do it. You're in here doing the heavy lifting every morning. I won't repeat it, but y'all can read it. You can read it on the VOD. It's a pretty good one. It's pretty good, Wayfarer. We're going to get all jokey today. It's Friday, man. We're going to live it up. We're going to do... I want to start... This was fun. I just saw this morning. I want to share this with you guys. I do not have horses at the Southeast Texas compound. I love me some horses. I fell off my first horse at 5. And I didn't get a chance to ride a lot, you know, when I was busy working. But every chance I got, I do like to ride. Mrs. McCoy is a hell of a rider. She's actually taken lessons before. She's one of those, you know, grew up riding like me, but then she did it proper. She could ride however, you know, English saddle, whatever. I'm a Western rider. I don't do any of that fancy stuff. I'm a working kind of rider. When I say working, I mean the horses just try and get you off of they don't want to do what you want them to do. But check this out. I love me some mounted patrol. And of all places in the world, I think it's fun that this particular city, New York PD, still has mounted patrol. And they are very active. I think it's fun that they, you know, go through Central Park and all that. But if you are unfamiliar with horses, they are an excellent law enforcement tool. They are amazing crowd control. And it's a little tricky if you're not good at getting on and off of them to, you know, effect an arrest with a horse with you. Excuse me a second. There we go. You can do it, but you got to be able to get on and off. But check this out real quick. Let me see where the volume's at on this. We might want to bring that down a hair.
Stop!
Now, this is my kind of foot pursuit right here.
Stop!
The purse snatcher.
Please stop! Stop! Stop running! Stop running! Stop running!
Now, to be fair, he gets all the way. Somebody else, there's a good Samaritan in New York. Let's just go ahead and play it. He gets the horse up to it. Now, he had him cut off. He wasn't going anywhere, but he had a good Samaritan that actually kind of stepped in, and then he put the grab on this dude. I think that's fun. I love me some horses. They're good animals. They're like dogs, man. We don't deserve them. They're fun. And if you've never seen horses used for crowd control, and it's not, if you have like a riot, and I'm not talking that because they don't do that, or you don't want the horses getting hurt. People tend to throw, you know, bricks and rocks and sharp things, glass bottles, that kind of thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking if you have a party that's gotten out of control. You see this a lot. I saw an episode one time of Cops a million years ago where they were down in New Orleans and Mardi Gras was getting out of hand, and that New Orleans coppers had some horses, and they just had a wall of 3 horses, and they literally just started walking the whole crowd down the street. Man, if you think you're gonna, and guys are going up, standing in front of the horses, you know, on the, like the side of them, thinking that they ain't gonna, you know, they ain't gonna get us. We'll get out of this. Man, when a horse wants you down, it'll put you down. And I thought that was funny. Are they allowed to kick suspects? Here's the thing: are they allowed? Horses just kind of sometimes do what they do, and if by chance you happen to take one to the melon, oh well. Typically they do not. I will say this: mounted patrol horses, you gotta they have to display kind of the opposite tendencies of canines. Canines, you want them aggressive, when you want them to be aggressive, you want them to bite and all that. Horses, a little bit different story. They have to be super amenable to whatever you tell them to do, which means generally speaking, they're pretty laid back. Because horses have this natural thing where they don't dig people too much. And not like dogs. Dogs are totally, domesticated. People are just, that's not weird to them. They're used to that. Horses get a little weird around people from time to time. So you have to have a certain, so typically the kind of horse that you have on a mounted patrol probably wouldn't bother to get up and kick somebody. They'll just walk right over you. Oh yeah. Police horses, they'll push people. You can get them to do that easy. You just walk them sideways up to somebody and just start walking them away. They'll do it. And it's so it's to wedge kind of you in between the person and the horse too. You don't want that person that you're walking to do something weird to your horse. So you kind of get your leg, you side the horse up to him, sidle up next to him, kind of get him to gives you an opportunity to whomp him in the head if you want. Canine's a different story. Canines, you just turn them loose. You let nature take its course. Let nature in your training program take its course. And shepherds are a little weird anyway. Shepherds they're a breed apart, man. They have the only thing about shepherds, and I feel bad for them in this respect, they tend to get dysplasia real early on. It's a weird thing. Yeah, horses are more crowd control kind of thing. And they're real good at it. Because you can take one horse, man, you can walk a bunch of people anywhere you want. It's kind of like herding sheep. You can kind of do whatever you want with them. Dogs a different story. Dogs are more partners, Horses, they're a tool specifically. You can use them however because a horse will do whatever you tell it to do. I've known many dogs that don't do anything you tell them to do. Once them overheads go on, them dogs on a mission, you ain't part of it. That dog's controlling the situation. Shepherds, they get antsy, boy. They're squirrely. There's a big push right now. They're going towards Malinois. Belgian Malinois is that's kind of the new tool in law enforcement. They eat less. They're less, I'll say they're less independent. They don't get dysplasia as bad or as early as shepherds do. Shepherds got a pretty short shelf life as a working dog, unfortunately. In and out of cars. They even make cars, like a lot of agencies they'll tailor their cars to the dogs because jumping in and out of those cars starts wearing on their hindquarters. Honey badgers. I would give anything. Wayfair says, how about honey badgers? Man, I would give a lot of money to see that. And then you got canines like Texas Ranger Studio Dog here, who has crashed out at my feet. Just happy as all get out to be in the studio. Boy, I started a real thing with him. He gets up first thing in the morning. He was ready to go. Even on days when I ain't ready to go, he's ready to go. I get up, get some coffee. Soon as he finishes breakfast, which takes literally all of about 3 seconds, he's in. He is about it. That's it. This is his patrol car right here. The nap. This dog could sleep 23 and a half out of 24 hours a day. He'd a good boy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like me some dogs. I like watching them. I was never a canine handler. I don't work with dogs that close. I don't have the temperament for it. They do their, you gotta be a special breed to use a canine as a tool. I don't have that. But once you turn them loose, boy, they kind of do their thing. I used to catch a lot of dogs for handlers, to be fair, because I don't mind the bite suits and all that. I'd tell a fun story. Here's probably where I got this. When I was a little kid, my old man was a copper, and every now and again he would take in the canines when they would retire them. Rather than put them down, he'd say, well, let's see if we can have it be a family dog. That is not a good idea, by the way. We had one bite the entire back of our house off. I'm not exaggerating. He took the siding off about 3 feet up. High as he could reach, he took it all down. That was when Mother McCoy called him and said, you come get this thing or I'm going to take your spare pistol and do it in. So he came and got it and handled it. But they had one dog, I was real tiny. And the old man fell asleep on the couch with me and the ball game was on or something. I don't remember the story. It's been told to me many, many times the same way. So anyway, he wakes up, I'm gone. He can't find me. So he calls the locals, hey, get on over here. Can't find the kid. He's wandered off somewhere. They show up and they look all over and they can't find me. And he goes downstairs, one last sweep of the inside of the house. And he starts to get disturbed because in this, kind of rough in bathroom, there's a tub and it's got a shower curtain around the top of it, like you see older, because this is a ways back. It's a freestanding tub and got a shower head, in it. There's a curtain around it and here's the, he's like, oh my God, the dog's in there and he's eating the kid. And he's freaking out. So he rips the curtain back and there's me and the dog sitting in the tub eating a pack of graham crackers that I had heisted. I'd give the dog a bite, then I'd take a bite. I'd give the dog a bite, then I'd take a bite. There's a lot more. I'll tell that story in full detail one night on a drunk stream. The reason he thought the dog had taken me was because he had whooped the dog for nipping me earlier on in the week, and he whooped it good. And then, he wakes up and I'm gone, dog's gone. He's like, uh-oh. Morning, Beast. Typing in Hawaiian again. Aloha. Anyway, that was my experience. So early on, dogs to me were kind of, we were pretty tight. And that's why I didn't mind catching them. So that was fun. That's where I learned a lot of stuff working, as a bite victim as a bad guy for most of the handlers. They're fun. I prefer Rottweilers myself because they're kind of stupid. They're the fun kind to me. They're dopey. Yeah. They just don't care about anything but biting people and eating. Everything else, they kind of let it go. What else we got here? Yeah, let's check this out. This sounds fun. Let's peruse this one together. We went early today because, things happen. We didn't get our normal welcome stream. So I thought I'd get up early. We'll hit it and just horse around today. We were going to horse around today anyway, but while we're doing it, we'll check this out. Here's a little bit of good news. Iran declares Strait of Hormuz completely open to commercial traffic during Israel-Lebanon ceasefire. Well, that's damn decent of them. Thanks for opening that up since the United States Navy has decided that they're going to just handle it. That's very magnanimous of Iran. Thanks, fellas. That'll go a long way towards keeping you alive, I expect. In line from CNBC, in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. Foreign Minister, please don't shoot me guy, said in a social media post. Okay. Yeah. Well played there. That'll go a long way towards keeping you on this side of the grass. Alsatians, I got to be honest with you on the canine thing. The only thing I've ever really worked with, I've worked with a total of 3 dogs. Shepherds, Malinois, and Rottweilers. I found Rottweilers to be my personal favorite. Number 1, Malinois are good, but they're lighter, and a lot of people can whip them around. Dogs will bite an arm and or a leg and hang on to it. Malinois are, I call them little bags of hate. They're small and nasty, but they're easy to kind of move around. Shepherds, not so much. They're a little bit heavier. Rottweiler takes you down, you got a problem on your hands. You need to just go with the program right there. Whatever commands you're hearing from the handler, I suggest you do it. Because that Rottweiler's figuring out what part of you is going to come off the easiest. And they'll do it. They were bred, literally that's what they were bred for. They were bred as, I don't want to say killing dogs, mauling dogs or war dogs. So they're prison dogs. They use them in prisons a lot. Big old 110, 120 pound Rottweiler gets a hold of your arm. You better hope he gets tired of chewing on it before you lose it. Because they get happy with that activity. Nothing like a bad guy chew toy. Well, of course, he's again Dobie Roddy Mc. Yeah, that's what I look at. Roddies, they're kind of like Dobermans on steroids, but they don't get the crazy. Dobies get crazy. I've heard a lot of rumors as to why that's true. They're, their skulls don't keep growing, their brains keep growing, or whatever, and they drives them nuts. I don't know. I never dug into it that far. I know they're nutso. Roddies are like Dobies on steroids to me, and they're just dumber than a bag of hammers. Wayfair, I love how a Rottweiler looks. They got a face like they, hey man, you got my money? Well, I ain't hearing that. I ain't hearing that. I'm hearing, yes, I got your money. That's what I'm hearing. You're like, oh, I guess I better pay up. I had a handler that had a Roddy one time. His nickname was Buckethead, and he was dumber than a bag of hammers. And I could actually walk him through a building, aside from his handler. I don't know why. We bonded. I think it's because we were both stupid, and he felt bad for me. Like, oh, you're the special kid too? That's fun. Sure, I'll go with you. Come on, two-legger. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Buckethead. He was a good old boy. The rest of them, I wouldn't get. They hated my guts. I had one in particular that absolutely hated me with a passion. And his handler thought it was funny, and he took full advantage of that every single chance he got. I set my dinner down in the briefing room one night. went down to the armory to draw some stuff, and came back, and his handler had taken my food and set it down in front of his dog and said, "Go ahead, go get it." I'm like, "You son of a bitch." I'm gonna save the rest of that for a drunk stream too. I don't want to tell the whole thing. But that's a funny one. That's a good one. I got my food back. I did not act in a manner befitting of a U.S. Marine. Let's put it that way. But I got my food back. And then now it's just tiny dogs for me. We got little dogs. I can't afford the food for big dogs. Although this one's Texas Ranger dog is going after it. He's trying to. I think there's another dog actually living inside of Texas Ranger dog. He's only about 11 pounds, but I think there's another dog living inside of him, like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. He's dimensionally transcendental. Like on the inside, there's a big old kennel in him. He's got like a Irish wolfhound, something. Because what comes out of this dog in the morning, there's got to be at least one, if not two or three, other dogs living in him. And he's sharing food with them. It's more than you needed to know about Texas Ranger dog, but there you go. A Malamute Husky and a Burmese. Yeah, so you got all kinds of big dogs. It looks like everybody in the chat got big dogs. Yeah, I can't handle them anymore. I gotta have a dog that if it's smarter than me, I can at least semi-physically contain it. This looks sad. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let me see hold on. Let's see what Miss O'Donnell has to say. This is one of my favorite people in the world because the more she gets spun up, the funnier I think it is. Let's see what Rosie O'Donnell has to say. Hold on a second. I got to hear this. This is going to be amusing. Turn the music off for a second. Let's see what. Look at that face. Little Miss Rosie. This is on X. Eric Swalwell broke Rosie O'Donnell's heart. Aww.
You're there. Like, you can't help but feel it. Now, can we talk a little bit about Eric Swalwell?
Sure.
I know that guy.
Oh, shock.
In what kind of way? Like, spoke to him on the phone a couple times. Oh, donated money.
I'll bet that was the high point of his day.
To him, I believe. Talked about him in some public appearances years ago about how I believed in him. And
I'm sure that went real far in his career. I'm sure that got him plenty of votes. Rosie's with me, folks.
His cute little family and 2 kids, and
Oh,
standing up to all those people when he, berates them for their moralist behavior.
oh, yeah.
And then all this comes out about him.
Mm.
And
You can just see that's the second that her little Grinch heart just breaks. You can hear it in the background. Oh, I love it.
it's heartbreaking to me,
See, told you. Oh, it's hard. It's heartbreaking.
And I wrote him a little message, and I said, Bill Clinton broke my heart, and now you did too.
Oh, and I'm sure that's what pushed Eric over the edge. Rosie doesn't love me anymore. I got to get out of this business.
The conclusion I've come to: men suck.
Oh, okay. It was Eric Swalwell that pushed you over the edge. Oh, okay. You haven't been playing for the other team your whole life? Get out of here. Oh, that is rich. Boy, I almost want to do that over and over all morning long. Morning, Draken. Oh, Rosie, I'm so sorry for you, honey. I'm being so sincere right now. That is so mean of Eric Swalwell to break your little heart. Oh, what a tragedy. What a goofball. What an absolute tool. I knew him. Yeah, you knew all about him, didn't you? Now, to be fair, all right, I'm going to do this. It's not like Eric Swalwell was walking around going, hey, by the way, I'm a closet rapist. That's not something that's not a big sell point on the campaign trail. I'm sure that didn't come out. But, spend a couple of days with the guy before you go endorsing him. And now she's all busted up. It breaks my heart. Toy poodle, you got Wayfair. Another it's hyperactive. It annoys me. Yeah, you want to tune her up, but it's like you want to tune that poodle up, but it's like that would be domestic violence because she's a member of the family. Yeah, the cogs in her slowly turning. Yeah, Rosie, you're like, hey man, so one of these days you're gonna figure it out. People are not who you think they are, especially if they're a politician. Some people, your friends, you figure it out over the years. You figure out who they are. But if you think you know a famous person and or a politician, you don't. That's a persona. They're not really like that. I hate to shatter the illusion for you, Rosie. You would think she would know that, knowing people in the business, that she would know how phony that whole environment is. But apparently she never figured that out. All right, whatever. Ooh, this is a good one. Let's check this out. All right, we got numbers on it. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we better take a look at this. All right. Here we go. Boy, this story's going fast and furious this morning. Look at what happened. This actually kind of bugs me a little bit. I'll get to that in a second. Oil prices tumble more than 9% as Iran declares Strait of Hormuz open. Oil prices tumbled Friday after Iran Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Mahmoud, don't shoot me, declared the Strait of Hormuz completely open during the ceasefire. Okay, so the U.S. Navy goes in and secures the Strait of Hormuz. Nothing, but then when Mohammed, I Hate America, says everything's fine, then we start dropping oil prices. Man, the faith in our Navy, lack of faith in our military just burns me sometimes. U.S. crude, I'm not going to be all black-pilled on it, though. I'm just glad that crude's down. Crude oil futures for May delivery fell 9.8% to 85.37 barrel. Oh, goody. And then Brent is back. Okay, so remember I was talking about the disparity between the two, and when West Texas was up above Brent, I kind of wrinkled my brow a little bit. Okay, it's back in order now. Brent's back up to 90 and West Texas is back to 85.37 a barrel. Good. Okay, perfect. And the Dow, if you see the top scroller up there, Dow surges 700 points. I ain't real wild about that. And the only reason I say that, I mean, I like the optimism. That's great. I think the market is extremely overinflated right now. It is way too high. And I don't like when it does that. See if there's anything. Israel and Lebanon agreeing to a 10-day ceasefire. Yeah, saw that. Okay, good. And then Trump said in a Truth Social post that Benny Netanyahu and Yosef Aoun will be invited to the White House. Okay, for some talks. Good. Glad everybody's at the table. That makes me happy. Baghdad Bob. That's what I should start calling people, Baghdad Bob. God, I love that guy. I got to watch him in real time, man. I remember like it was yesterday, probably because I got post-concussive syndrome and my memory ain't what it used to be. But God, that guy was funny. There, literally, for those of you who weren't around or didn't catch Baghdad Bob, but those of you who did, you'll remember this. My all-time favorite was the, American troops are nowhere near Baghdad and the city's completely safe and business as usual. And literally, there are Humvees and a tank rolling by him in the background. Oh my goodness, that was funny. That guy was just hysterical. I love that. Oh, Wayfarer's going back to the Rosie O'Donnell thing for a second. Let me bust this up real quick. Lesbians hate men. If anything, lesbians can relate to a lot of us men. That has not been my experience, Wayfarer. For some reason, the bigger and meaner they are, the more we do not get along. I think it's the competition, to be fair. I think there's a pheromone that guys give off that softball players don't dig. That's my term. I hate lesbians. It implies, nice thing. I'm talking about softball players. The big mean gals with the mullet, the flannel shirt with the arms cut off, comfortable shoes, softball glove with them in case the game breaks out at any moment. In my experience, them gals don't like me none too much. That could be just me personally. I don't know. Gas dropped from $4.19 to $3.69 here. That's fantastic. I'm glad that the market is, a lot of this is you're paying. When we talked about it when it very first started, you're paying down the road prices. Oil market is weird in that one respect. There's a lot of paper trade that goes on, and they try and cover ahead. I don't know if I'm going to explain this very well, but prices at the pump, your refined prices, they try and make up for delivery that they're going to get smoked on, a month or two or three down the road. So you're paying prices for something that hasn't even happened yet. And then sometimes you get what you got here, where the instant that something like this happens, because this is an anomaly. You don't see this in a market. This isn't like, how do I put this? An economic report where they find out durable goods are up. And then they go, okay, we need to clearly production's going to ramp up, and it's going to be that way for a while. So we need to kind of take up the slack. I've never sat down and done a cost price analysis on petroleum. It's not really my thing. And it's mostly because the market is so weird to me. It's very immediate, and then usually you can look at it and it's fairly simple to figure out. You go, okay, CPI, did this, consumer price index did this. So here's how the, economy is going to go a little bit. And they kind of front run the overall economic outlook. Because make no mistake, as oil goes, so goes your economy. And that's everybody in the world. It's not specific to us. Some places it might be a little bit different, out of the way places, but big, industrialized nations, as oil goes, that's how your economy goes. So if you get really lucky, if we get really lucky, not only will this continue, fingers crossed. When you're dealing with people, especially people from a region in the world that they just don't get along with the rest of the planet, anything can happen. However, this holds for a couple of days at least. You should see a little bit of relief there. And then the nice part of that is once gas prices go down to a substantial, especially diesel, keep an eye on diesel if you want to see what the economy is doing, because that's your transportation sector right there. So if you see that go down and it stays down for a while, you can expect to see shelf prices come down a little bit, because manufacturers don't want to get smoked on sales, any more than they want to pay higher production or transportation costs. Economics is one of those things. If you want to, you could really go down a rabbit hole. And if you've never done cost price analysis, oh my goodness, you could play that game all day long. And literally it's a, swallow the cat to eat the spider, swallow the dog to eat the cat kind of process. You just got to pick out every little cost along the way. And you could, hey, good morning, Donna Hall. What is happening? Hail. Someone sneezes. Darth says someone sneezes in the Middle East. Gas goes up 10 cents at the pump. Yeah, because they're trying to front run it. They see what's coming on their back end costs, and they're like, okay, let's front run this because we're going to get smoked. I don't think a lot of people know this. There's a reason for that. They're more susceptible to cost changes than other areas of the economy. And that's because their profit margin, and people are I'm going to say this and people are going to freak out and get all, no, they're not. Their profit margins are really dicey. They're really thin. They miss a cost price estimate by, a penny in, a month. You're talking several billions of dollars down the drain. And there's a lot of cost associated with their business. So they can't just adjust that real quick. So they front run a lot of stuff. That's the short version. That's why the volatility. There you go. I don't want to beat that. Nobody came here for an economics lesson. Let bullshit on that. Make with the funny, old man. Okay, sorry. Done with that. What else we got? Self-declared Marxist wins a special election in New Jersey. I ain't even interested enough in that to tear into it. Who cares? That's not a shock. I'll do this just real quick. Special elections. I don't know why the media makes such a big deal out of special elections. You call a snap election. You could have a parrot win that thing, and it wouldn't surprise me. It's just whatever. Nobody pays it. Do this. You want to see what I'm talking about? Do this. Go look for election results for any of your local city, county elections. Hell, even state elections. Go look at your voter turnout. If you have municipal elections, let's do this, or county elections. If you have anywhere near 20% voter participation, I would be stunned. Absolutely stunned. You get roughly 7, maybe 10%, maybe. And then you do a special election. It's like you threw a party and nobody came. You may as well just not even have them. They're stupid. So the media, when they get all spun up, they go, oh, Marxist. Okay. First of all, yeah, people don't really pay attention to the whole I don't think most people know what Marxism is anymore, to be honest with you. You got to be sort of in our sphere to even know what that means. Normies don't know what that means. You do that street, interview thing. You walk up to 10 under 30s and go, describe Marxism to me. They probably give you a recipe for potato chip dip. They haven't the faintest idea what the hell's going on. And then second of all, it's a special election. I go, who gives a shit? There, now we did a whole thing on a story I wasn't even going to cover. Nice job, old man. Sweet. Let's do, I'm not going to play this one, but I will do this story real quick. Law enforcement officials confirmed the woman named Sunny Nakvi, who went viral for claiming to be detained by ICE for 2 days, that was a hoax. Color me shocked. Here's the fun part. The Wisconsin sheriff involved in the false claim is now suing the woman over the hoax detention claim and seeking $1 million in damages. I hope they get it. I hope they triple it. The woman claims she was detained for hours by immigration at O'Hare, taken across state lines to the Dodge County jail, then released onto the street in the middle of the night. I got news for you, sister. See, Juicy Smollett syndrome right there. They took, okay, first of all, you were detained at the airport, yeah. And then they put you in a van or a car and drug you across state lines. Yeah, why would they possibly do that? And then they released me onto the street in the middle of the night. Never once in the history of anything ever. I've done this one time. I have picked somebody up for vagrancy, and instead of arresting them, just literally drive them blocks down the road because they're that close to somebody else's jurisdiction, hand them a bus token and a couple of bucks and go, turn south, keep walking. Now you're somebody else's problem. Go get a sandwich. That I've done, but they were never under arrest. So I hope there are states that have this law. If you make a false report, you're charged with false reporting, and you can be sentenced similarly to the crime that you were falsely reporting. I think that should happen in this case. You're reporting kidnapping. Kidnapping carries up to X amount of years. It didn't happen. When you get charged with false reporting and found guilty, let's say you were going to get 12 years for kidnapping. Now you get 12 years for false reporting. That would be my solution to that problem. Go back to special elections for a minute. Yeah, isn't that weird, Cole Hauser, how you always hear when somebody on the left side of the aisle wins a special election. I've seen 3 of them where not only did a conservative win a special election, or a Republican win a special election, but they increased their voter share and the lead, the vote count from the last time that the regular House, they did one of those down in Georgia. Ooh, I know what I was going to hit. Speaking of voting, there's a Supreme Court one that I want to, let's see. I want to hit this real quick. See if I can find it. Supreme Court rumor. Okay, here it is. I don't want to do that live, so let's do this. We'll go back to the lady making the thing up here in a minute. We're kind of out of order, but Dave, it's Friday. Who gives a shit? We're not exactly like we're getting graded on this. Are we? I hope is there a test after this? Hold on. Let me check the schedule. No, okay, we're good. All right, this ain't going to be on the finals this semester. From Sean Spicer's mouth, this is a prognostication on his part, but he's apparently got some inside scoop. Says the Supreme Court is reportedly about to gut the pro-Democrat race-based VRA congressional districts, and the decision could drop imminently. Now, they have a map here. And when I talk about districting, you guys see me when we're on shows every now and again, I talk about districting, and I don't think a lot of people they don't follow that process. That's how big cities run the country when they should not in any fashion. It's through districting. Gerrymander. That's a process, not the entire thing, but they go in and they redraw districts to benefit their representation in Congress, and it's complete bullshit. Well, Supreme Court's taking a look at it, and finally they sat up and went, you know what? There's an argument made that this was based entirely on this, that, whatever. Your districting is supposed to be representative of your population, regardless of who they are or their demographic. It's supposed to be representation of your overall population. Well, Democrats don't do that. They change the rules a little bit. They district according to what benefits them. And they've made arguments about race and, socioeconomic status and all that. And that don't work. That's not how that goes. Well, as you see from the map on the left is the current map that they've spent years redistricting and horsing around with. And on the right is what that would look like after the Supreme Court steps in and says, yeah, you know, all that stuff you've been pulling for the last 50 years. Yeah, we're going to redo that because it's based on nonsense. It's based on something that's unconstitutional, like your skin color, how much money you make, your religion, whatever stupid argument you made to get it to pass in the first place. So good on them, and better do it quick, because looks like Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas might be thinking about retiring. And I don't care who you get to replace in the next 2 years. Let's say Clarence Thomas comes out tomorrow and says he's going to hang it up. If Clarence Thomas was to retire tomorrow and Trump tried to put in a replacement, sadly, I don't think that would go very well. I don't think, because his last two picks have not impressed me, especially Amy Coney Barrett, whatever, ACB. She's an acronym now. I don't know what goes through her head, but that's, man, there's one thing about bad picks, but bad picks on the Supreme Court, that's a gigantic beat right there. That's one you don't climb out from under too easy. That lasts a very long time. So, and and I don't care who you get, you're never going to replace Clarence Thomas. Antonin Scalia, Clarence Thomas those are two hits on the Supreme Court. You ain't going to get that back. You might get close, but Italian Jim says, how about Mike Lee as a replacement? I'll think about it. I will tell you right off the bat, I've seen some squish in there that I don't care for, but given a different situation, okay, given a straight out Supreme Court seat, that squish might disappear. I'd have to think about that one pretty hard. The guys that the guys that are on there right now, Sam Alito, Clarence Thomas, I'm a gigantic fan of Clarence Thomas. That's a guy, and for one reason, that's a guy he has walked the walk for the last, 20. What has he been in? Third? Oh my goodness. When did I can't do math in my head, and I can't remember off the top of my head exactly the year, but let's take a look. Let's find out. Let's not think. Let's know. Let's go straight to confirmation date. 91. Somebody do the math real quick on that. 10, 20, 30 years ish. 2010, 20. Yeah, 30 some years. He has walked the walk. Ted Cruz, yeah. I got to be honest. I'm going to take some heat for this, but I was always kind of a Ted Cruz fan. He's all right. Not my all-time favorite guy. I mean, but not bad. Take a Ted Cruz. And the thing, when these guys are politicians, you got to understand there's one way as a politician, and then there's another way when you're Supreme Court justice. Because when you put on the big robe, you don't answer anybody. You do what you want. So if during their political days they were even remotely conservative and held to it, you got a much better crack at being staunchly conservative when they got the robe on. And you can be as strict originalist as you want right there. And I absolutely am. And I love jurists that we're going down a road here. We don't really need to, but this is just a little inside the sheriff's head kind of thing. I love jurists who keep their rulings simple and point to the Constitution and go, says right here. And then that's it. You get the dissents get real long-winded about how, in theory, and if you change and you apply it to today's modern blah, blah, and there's a lot of justification for why they do what they do. I like a strict originalist who points to it for or against, either, in a majority ruling or a dissent that says right here on the document. Don't really need to tear that apart too far. That's my kind of jurist right there. Yeah, I see a lot of hemming and hawing and justification and rationalization for rulings, and I go, frankly, you don't understand the concept of what got brought in front of you right there. Yeah, I ain't wild about that. Wayfair, I gotta ask you about this. I missed this earlier conversation. You identify as spectrum color. You're a little bit of everything. Okay, fair enough. All right. Oh, I see. I got the first part of that conversation. Okay, Draken, I got you. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, so here's my thing. I'll finish up the Supreme Court thing. It's going to be hard to find a strict originalist nowadays. They just don't really exist. If you shoot for conservative, that's one thing. You may get them, you may not. Who knows? They could be telling tales. But there's no way to weasel out of an originalist stance. You're like, it's document says what it says. I don't need to change it. All I got to do is a real simple litmus test of what you bring in front of me. Does this fit into the document? And it's super simple. Your opinion, if you're Supreme Court justice, should take about a page max. You know, pretty good sized font, double spaced. It don't matter, you know, what you bring in front of that document. That's the beauty of the document. That baby stands the test of time. It means what it says what it means. Hire someone with credentials, not the color of their skin or what's between their legs, frankly. I can't stand that. First, you know, need the first woman of color on the bench. Who gives a shit? I couldn't care less. I could not care less. I want to know your opinion on. Tell me about your understanding of and support of the document, the founding document. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you come from. Some people, I got into an argument with a pretty good conservative fellow about that one day. Well, your background makes you who you are. Well, it contributes to who you are, but if you're being honest with me and you tell me where you stand, I take that for face value. I don't care how you got there. Do you really believe it? Put that to the test. Give them a trial run. You know what I always thought about Supreme Court justices? You should get a 2-year trial run. You know, you get nominated, you get confirmed, and then you got a two-year probation period where if it don't work out, you can go, yeah, you were full of shit, and then pull them back because they're out there. John Roberts, I'll point to him all day long. That guy was a jack in the box from the word jump. Guy never meant a word he said. You know, all of it, everything that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That dude, you can't tell me. Either A, he was full of shit, or B, he's compromised. Either way, there ain't nothing conservative about that dude. And he has not the faintest understanding of the document. And that bugs me. You know, how he got to be. That's just going to make me angry. I don't even want to go down that road. How he got to be the Chief Justice is beyond me. Because I'm not sure the guy's ever been to law school, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah, I'm fully aware. I give Trump a lot of heat for bad picks. Boy, Bush got him whooped in that one alone right there. Yeah, you can thank George. You can thank W for him. There's a lot of stuff that he screwed up. That was the one that still to this day really affects your everyday life. I never met the man. I don't know what he's like personally. Frankly, I don't give a shit. I think he sucks at his job. Or he's just a damn liar. Either way. And then people go, oh, you know, his kids. He got them. He adopted them from Ireland. Well, if everybody knows it, then it ain't really a secret, is it? So you can't really hold that over his head. And you're at the point now where, God, they got to be old enough where it doesn't make any difference. Who cares? They got something else on him if it's a compromise thing. Like him and Eric Swalwell were hanging out. Something like that. Couldn't stand what they did to Brett Kavanaugh. I watched that one in living color. Or Clarence Thomas. Boy, you ever want to see a Supreme Court confirmation hearing go south? Put a conservative originalist up there. Holy cow. My goodness. Well, if we ever have a Transformers or G.I. Joe Supreme Court, you get to be, I will appoint you the G.I. Joe Supreme Court Chief Justice. Goldhauser. There you go. That's what's up. If I need anything about dogs, we'll go to Zephyr Canine, maybe Mary Ann. If I need stuff about New York mob history or knowledge, we go to Spider Unlimited. If I need somebody whack full of Haldol, we go to Donna Hall. We need somebody saddle dragged to the bone, we get Draken out. You and me will hook up a couple of folks and saddle drag them, along with the mounted patrol from NYPD. We got the Division of Labor all straightened out here. And you probably never will, Wayfair. Never learned who leaked the video on Swalwell. You probably, the day you find out who did in Seth Rich, you'll figure out who leaked the video on Swalwell. I'll get all kind of conspiratorial about that. Man, them people are sneaky. Holy mackerel. People in federal level politics are, there's some scary folks. And everybody goes, oh, you sure you have any, how do you know this? And my answer is, why don't you go timeshare a condo with Hillary Clinton for a weekend? Go do that. You want to play that game? I didn't think so. I always thought that was a better question. Would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear? Would you rather be in the woods with a bear or Hillary Clinton? Let's do that. Let's play that game. This was a weird one to me. I'll pop this up real quick. Let's see. That won't autoplay. Okay, good. I'm not sure what's going on at DHS. I'm pretty sure it's ugly over there. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons submits resignation letter to Mark Mullen. That happened yesterday afternoon. That was a little weird. That was kind of out of the blue. I'm not sure if there was something going on with Todd, if he was on the hook, but that just kind of came out of the blue. Apparently this is a story. I don't know. I haven't tracked this one down yet, but apparently he had some sort of health issue recently, and I guess it tightened him up. And he said, yeah, I don't want to do this no more. I'm going to go ahead and spend my whatever precious little time I got left with the kids. If that's true, okay, that's when I believe I'm going to go hang with my family. Now, some people look at this. I'm going to defend that statement for a minute. Some people look at that statement and say, I'm going to go spend time with my family, and go, that's bullshit. Let me change your mind for a second. My father died very young of cancer. When I say very young, I mean pre-65. Okay. That's very young to me. And watching that, there was a moment in my life that it changed. And I said, the moment that I'm able to retire, because he died when he was still working. Now, granted, he had cancer, so he wasn't working, but he was working the day he got diagnosed. And it was a very short time after that. He didn't get to retire and enjoy it. There's the short version of it. And I said to myself, the moment that I get the chance to retire, I'm going to do it. And I refocused my retirement on getting out early. Okay. Not a long haul kind of thing. I'm like, nope. I went to an expert in the field. I said, get me out of this as quickly as possible with as much money as you can. And he's very good at what he did. And he got me straightened out. And I was able to retire extremely young. I was working. Everything was going great. Me and Mrs. McCoy had just got back together. I'll retell the me and Mrs. McCoy story one night. And my daughter was at an age where the fun stuff was going to start happening. It's all fun, but we're talking she's going to get into her teenage years. And I'm like, okay, I need to be around when this happens. And the switch flipped in my head. And I went, okay, today's the day, literally. And I walked over to my boss's office, the owner / president of the company that we were running. And I said, I'm out. And he about came unglued. And he said, why? And I told him the story. I'd kept it to myself. I never told him because I didn't think it was going to be that early. I thought it was going to be early, not that early. And then I told him, and he looked me dead in the eye and he said, okay, I can respect that. Can you give me at least 2 weeks to train somebody up? I said, well, I ain't going to be in the office, but I'll be available. How's that? He said, fair enough. And I went out and got a replacement and put this kid in place, and away they went and never looked back. So when somebody says, I'm going to spend time with my family, if they have had a recent health scare, I'll buy that. So Todd Lyons supposedly had one of those. I may do that. Now, here's the part where it gets weird to me. There has been so much going on in that department as of late. I got to wonder, is this also a part of that? Because they've had some bad beats in the media lately. Some of them, a little questionable. You start that one where they were wrestling with that cat and he got shot up in Minnesota. You know, Gala got shot for running over an ICE agent. That's not even a remote question. I don't even look back at that. Cut and dried. Good shoot. See you later. You don't mess around with cars, period. Now, the one where they were wrestling with that fella and he had a pistol on him, but apparently it may or may not have been in play. I don't know. Can you look at that one and start going, okay, we need to go over the video? Yeah, maybe. This is hard to explain. You probably shouldn't have your pistol in your hand when you're wrestling with somebody, if you get the opportunity at all to put that away. And I'm not trying to Monday morning quarterback that particular one. I'm just saying that's one that you could point to in the media and say, yeah, they're having a tough time. You know, so there you go. I wasn't there. I ain't going to do that Monday morning quarterback thing. I'm simply pointing out that's a situation that the media can look at and it plays well and people can legitimately question it. The car one, you can't even question that. That's just, that don't fly. She literally had a sign on her that said, do me up. So I don't replay those. I worked with a fellow one time, was in one of those situations and shot through the windshield, crippled this kid, like from the shoulders down kind of thing. And he felt bad about it. And then, you know, a year or two later, this kid died. And he finally came to the realization it could have been, you know, that was me or him, man. That was a perfectly good shoot. He was messed up for a little bit. Big guy, big dude, real marshmallow inside, real nice guy. Boy, he was tore up. He was tore up. And then eventually he realized, man, and I'll tell you why he came to this realization, had a motors cop that got hit by a car on purpose. And he went, oh, yeah, that could have been me. And he got jacked up. It was by the grace of God that dude lived. And he realized, yep, that could have been me or him. So I'm good with it. Cool. You know, there is a play stupid games, win stupid prizes breakpoint, and that woman was all over it. Was all over it. If you've never seen what a car can do to a human body, don't. There's some situations where you wish you had died. I know a couple of motors dudes that have been, man, you couldn't pay me enough to ride a motorcycle for work. It's bad enough doing it, you know, as a hobby. But when you put on the suit, get out there and people are aiming at you, that's a whole different story. No, thank you. No, thank you. Wayfair and be on the sidelines on a comfy chair and popcorn watching you guys wrestle up them bad folks. My wrestling with bad folks days are long gone. Long gone. And I'm good. I am good with it. That's a young man's game. They can have that shit. I'm lucky if I can get in and out of a bar with myself intact. Go in, get your drinks, do your thing, get out. Don't look at anybody. Don't talk too loud. Get in there and get out. That's fortunately I live now in a town where that's not a problem. We got pretty solid citizens around here. It's easy. You go in, everybody knows. It's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody else. Nobody's got any problems. If they do, they just go to another bar. You know, it's a pretty good time. Draken asks, ever watched the show Jericho? I have not. Let me look it up here real quick. Let's take a look. TV series. Small town of Kansas, literally left in the dark after a mushroom cloud over nearby Denver. Oh, that looks fun. I may have to check that out. I like that stuff. I like that apocalyptic stuff, man. That's a good time. I have this is kind of I don't know if it's sick. I don't know if it's really a fetish. I have this thing always in the back of my head when society goes sideways. What happens when it all goes south? You know, I wouldn't exactly call me, a bunker dweller, but, I got plans. Me and Mrs. McCoy kind of plan for that kind of thing. She also being a jarhead and working with people and seeing how government is, I don't know. This is probably why. If you've ever worked in government, Cole Hauser, anybody else has worked with government, this is going to make sense to you. If you've ever worked with the government, you understand what a tenuous grasp they have on everything. People think, oh, the government will do this, government do that. Government is people just like you. And frankly, not to ruin the illusion, but it's people probably less intelligent than you. Because if they were smarter, they'd be in the private sector. So, when you think the government's got a handle on something, let me refresh that page for you. They are making that shit up as they go. And they're not working that hard at it. So I'll go check Jericho out. That sounds like fun. Silly and unrealistic, Cole Hauser said. You know what? When the end comes, it'll be silly and unrealistic. I think a lot of people, they picture what the end's going to be. And literally for the first 2 weeks, it's going to be a bunch of people walking around just asking stupid questions. Everybody thinks the first 24 hours it's going to go Lord of the Flies. No, it's going to take a little bit. But then when it goes Lord of the Flies, then shit's going to go completely sideways. I wouldn't say I'm hoping for it, but I definitely, if I get to see it in my lifetime, it wouldn't shock me, whatever happens. You watch people come apart when something don't go properly for about an hour and a half. Close down your local Starbucks for an hour and a half. Watch people freak out. Think about no food or electricity for a week. The one thing that's going to throw everybody off in the current, Netflix has a show on this. Somebody in the chat will know this. Netflix has got a show that they put on about when things go sideways. Communications start getting screwed up. Ships are running aground for no good reason. GPS stops working, and people start getting weird, physical symptoms. What the hell was the name of that thing? Not like the day after or anything like that. I can't remember what the name of that thing was. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And it's like a, compilation of a bunch of families trying to stumble their way through this what the hell's going on around us thing. Man, I can't remember the name of that thing to say the Obama show. Yeah. We'll come up with it before the end of the show. It'll come to me. I'll start searching around for it right now. Netflix disaster shows. La Palma, Earthstorm, Railway, Aftershock. No, not disaster. Doggone it. I can't even think of how I want to search this. Doggone it. I can't. 0 day? No, I don't think that was it. Let's do this. Netflix show where everything stops working. No, that. Doggone it. Now I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, they had one of those. They had a show on, and it was the Obamas were the executive producers of it, and everybody made fun of it. I don't know if they were the executive producers. That's the way I do it in my head, but The one with Julia Roberts. Let's go. Okay, let's do it backwards. Let's go to IMDb and see if now you get to see. DB, Julia Roberts. Go through her background and see if we can find the show. But things stop working. Teslas start driving themselves. Traffic gets all backed up. It was sort of how the government would mess with you. You're seeing jets flying over and nobody knows why. Communications are all screwed up. Internet stops working. GPS doesn't work no more. People are going over to neighbors' houses and, hey, we're out of food, or we can't get to here, there. We got to get to the doctor. Can you help us, kind of thing. There was one character in that show where neighbor shows up to the house and they need might be Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind? There you go. Leave the World Behind. Bang. Good call. Good call, Draken. Yeah, that one was fun. I can't believe we found that. Well, that didn't take too long. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, I love that neighbor. They show up to his house and one of the kids is sick and he needs medicine. The homeowner's standing there with a scatter gun and he's like, sorry, I can't help you out. Oh, Marianne got it. Well played, Marianne. Good job. Good job. And he tells that fella, nah, it ain't going to happen. And then the guy's like, hey, come on now. I really need this. Starts walking up to the house and this dude racks one into the chamber. He goes, I ain't playing. You take one more step. We're going to end this right here and now. That's going to be me at the end. Now, eventually they make a trade and he relents and he gives him the medicine. He's like, okay, I'll give you half. He needed iodine. That's what it was. He's like, I'll give you, a little bit of what I got. That's going to be me. Like, look, man, we ain't quite at the rules are gone stage, but the rules definitely have changed. So be forewarned. This ain't going to last too much longer. And the minute that things go completely sideways and you realize there ain't no government no more, the people that are going to survive are the ones that realize, not go completely Lord of the Flies, but realize that all bets are off. You got to still maintain some semblance of society, but it's going to look a hell of a lot different than it does right now. You can see a lot of Judge Dredd action right there. Let's see, Cole. The U.S. is the only country with logistics. No matter how bad it gets, they'll always be on top. So, to that end, the U.S. has an interstate highway system. We have the way our population is laid out. Information would flow fairly freely and fairly quickly from one place to another. I think you would see major cities empty out in a heartbeat. People would fan out pretty quick because they'd realize once those stores are closed, you're done. If you're in a big city and the stores are closed, you're done like a dog's dinner. And the minute the water doesn't work anymore, electricity you can go without for long. Hell, look at Cuba. They've been doing it for years now. Their power has always been a little bit sketch, but they're in a prolonged situation now where they haven't had reliable power for, hell, I'd say decades. So you can go without electricity for quite some time. Water, on the other hand, food, we got enough processed food to stick around for a while. That's fine, but that's going to run out pretty quick. Couple of days in a big city. And given what we watched in 2020, there'll be one weird, I can't believe toilet paper was the thing that people were so bent up about. A lot of people go, oh yeah, it's a pretty important thing. Well, in the grand scheme of things, I didn't, we'll figure something out, but whatever. I would think storable food items and water would be your concern. Top three things. Number one on the list. I'll give anybody in chat, I give you a donut if somebody can come up with the correct answer. I'm going to give you three things. You tell me the top thing. Number one thing you need in a real live survival situation. Very first, most important thing to stay alive. Food, water, shelter. Somebody give me, first one comes up with it gets a donut. I did a thing one time, these government kids I was working with, they did this little disaster exercise. You know, your plane crashes. Here's the items you got. But your brain, no, we're using the brain right now. The spider's correct. If I threw brain in there, that's correct. But yeah, your brain and your patience. Keep your wits about you. But of those three things, which are you? Nope. Close, Draken. Nope. I did a little exercise with the government kids I was working. There's a bunch of 20, maybe 30 somethings, and they had all these. And I watched them. I stayed out of it because I kind of knew, you know, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I knew the answers to this exercise they were doing. You would not believe the silly shit these kids picked out of this list. You know, and it's a weird list. It's, you know, your plane crashes. These are the items you find. You gotta put them in order, and they always screw it up. You know, they had a can of Crisco in there, and the kids are like, "Oh, throw that out." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Hang on a second. What are you doing?" I didn't do that. I let them do their thing, and then I did mine, and I showed it to them, and they're like, "Oh, none of this makes sense." And then we did the answer, and I had every one of them spot on, and the kids were like, "That doesn't make any sense." I go, "Read it. They'll tell you why they are what they are." Darth Yeager gets a donut. Shelter. Very first thing in a real life survival situation, if it's life or death, you against nature, it'll take you weeks to die of starvation. You ain't gonna like it, but it's gonna take a long time. You'll die of dehydration. Depending on what you're doing, it could take days, you know, depending on where you're at. That one definitely take you more than a day or two, but you can die of exposure in a matter of hours, sometimes in a matter of minutes, depending on where you're at. But no matter where you are, first thing that's going to get you is exposure. People go, "Well, what if I was in the middle of," and trust me, there was a story a while back. I'll tell this one real quick. It was some Rangers, some Army Rangers. They were doing an exercise, and they were in the Panhandle area of Florida. And everybody, it was, you know, people, "Oh, Florida's fairly nice. Should be okay." A couple of them died of exposure. Daytime high was 72. Nighttime low got down to 60. Some of these boys got in the water, started walking around at night, and then they decided to set down after they got all wet. Bye. It was tragic, but it was a great example of no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, nature's going to be the first, exposure is going to be the first one to get you. There's a little fun. We'll do more of those in the future. I'll go find one of those lists. We'll put that together and we'll throw it up on a poll of these three items. What's the, you know, we didn't do the English language. Somebody throw me an English language lesson out and we'll do that one real quick. We haven't done that in a couple of days. And I was going to go make it a regular thing and I kind of got on the, but it's 9:30 here, 10:30. It's our regular time for that. Knife, very important to have a good solid knife. Guns are nice. They make it easy. Maintenance, you know, maintenance on guns. People don't. That's a tough gig. That's why if people go, "What are your favorite firearms?" I like durable. My favorite, I got a Ruger GP100. It's my favorite sidearm. It's a 6-shooter, 357. That thing's a tank. It's ugly. It's chunky. It's heavy, which means the recoil's low. And man, you can throw that thing in the mud and pick it up. 2 hours later, without even cleaning it. 2 hours later, put all 6 right on paper. That thing's a honey. Love it. Love automatics, but boy, are they get fidgety. Once they break, you're kind of done. Wheel gun, you take it, you know, take it open, click it back. You just keep pulling until it stops going bang. Anyway, we could do that all day long. Check out, see if there's what are we doing here? All right, let's check out. We got a statement from the man about the Israeli Lebanon. For anybody that's not following the news, if you're getting the news strictly from this channel, number one, bad idea. Number two, here we go, up to the moment. Il Donaldo says USA will get all nuclear dust. No money will exchange hands. Deal is in no way subject to Lebanon, but the USA will work with Lebanon, deal with Hezbollah. Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They're prohibited from doing so by the USA. Okay, let's see. Let's see if that sticks. I like it. See if it sticks. See what any sharp. Yes, there you go. Here's when Spider said your brain, boy, that's an important one too. Your brain is your most important tool / weapon. If you keep your wits about you, you can get just about anything done. Rule number 1, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Rule number 2, never spend a calorie you can't get back. You see Bear Grylls' shows and he does all this cool stuff. And granted, I mean, it's fun, it's entertaining, and there's some good tips and tricks in there. But you see that Naked and Afraid, and you see all these guys going out and trying their hand at hunting and fishing and all this stuff. And unless you got a pretty sure source of calorie replacement, don't bother. If you don't know what you're doing, that's a bad time to try your hand right there. Yeah, any way you can make a fire. Boy, there's a super handy trick too. Let me share that with you. If you don't know how to make a fire from nothing, learn. Someday that might save your life. Fire is a super handy tool. Not just for keeping you warm, but water is sketch everywhere that it's not treated. Boil it. Cole Hauser on the Lebanon-Israel ceasefire thing. Think it'll stick? They need U.S. armaments. Yeah. A fairly codependent relationship with Israel. That's true. We'll see. I hope it'll stick. My problem, it's not Israel that's the problem on that stuff with me. It's the other guy. It's always the other guy. They'll start it first, and Israel won't even ask permission. They'll just get right back after it. And they'll just point the finger and go, they started it. They'll be right. And I don't blame them. You can only bomb so many of my people before I go, that's it. I don't care if my partners are along for the ride or not. I'm taking this one on myself. But from Sean Ryan, Wayfarer says, learn from Sean Ryan as to why he always wears a Rolex. Great bargaining trade if you need something for survival. Not familiar with Sean Ryan right off the bat, but I will say, if it gets to the point, if you get to the 1 second after William Forstchen 1 second after scenario, where the EMP goes and everything's just totally worthless now, that Rolex is gonna avail you not. Might make a nice trophy. Yeah, Israel, Jim's right. Israel's an excellent counterpuncher. Probably the best in the business. They do it fast, they do it often, and they do it in a manner that gets its point across. And I take no. I don't want to go down a whole Middle East scenario thing right now. We're too close to the end of the show. We're having too much fun. I don't want to spin that one out of control. We might sit down one night and talk about the Middle East. I'm not an expert by any stretch. I have my theories. I feel kind of bad for Israel. They're the neighbor that, and I've touched on it before, that's just a big neighborhood dispute. They're the neighbor that moved in late to the party, and no matter how you slice it, they're just not going to get along now because they're not the same as all the other neighbors. That's a real oversimplification, but I tend to do that. Hey, Zephyr. Welcome aboard. You missed it. We were doing dog talk earlier. You're going to have to go back and play the bod, but we were doing dog breeds and working dogs and all that. EMPs. Cole Hauser says on Modern Warfare 2, use EMPs all the time. Boy, I tell you, that'd cause a whole mess of problems. If you haven't read the book 1 Second After by William Forstchen, it's a pretty good read. It gets a little goofy in spots, but it's a pretty entertaining read. And it's I'd say it's a fairly accurate description of what would happen if you just took the U.S., plunged it back into 1880 something. It goes into pretty good detail about how instead of Lord of the Flies, you don't hold society together in its current form, but you hold it together in a functioning manner, because it's not going to look anything like it looks right now, but it's not going to go completely Lord of the Flies either. People will still function. We got along just fine up until electricity came along. We'll do it again. People won't like it, to be sure, and you're going to do a lot of damage. There'll be a lot of people going to expire in a short period of time, but after that wears off. So 1 Second After, if you get a chance, check that out. City folk, oh yeah, they'd clear out quick. We talked about that. First 3 days, they figured things have been completely shut off and they're not coming back. You'd watch the cities empty out in a heartbeat. They're going to come out to the country and they're going to come looking for your stuff. You know, there's this sort of human nature to head for the hills when things get bad. They'll do it. Cities will empty out pretty quick. I love how arrogant they, condescending they are about farm folks, rural folks. They go, flyover country. I'm like, you just wait. You wait. One day you're going to be showing up at my door and I'm going to turn you away. And you're going to be all dejected. I don't think country folks would take them in. They'd be like, you had your shot. You made your choice. Get on out of here. Be like Stephen King's The Stand. Sad that they picked Boulder as the place that all the good folks went. There's plenty of other places besides there to go, just because I'm familiar with Boulder. But I thought Vegas was an excellent choice for the bad guys. There you go. A lot of city lifestyle folk that live in the country, they only think they're rural. Boy, I tell you, I ain't gonna lie. If they went south, it'd take me a day or two to get spun up where I'm at. I like me some amenities. I like running water. I like electricity. I like the internet. It makes life easy. I like stores. But a couple of days later, we get back on track. I got enough to carry. That's essentially what we keep on hand, me and Mrs. McCoy. We got enough for, to get us back up and running in a real 1880s country lifestyle. Bust out the lamp oil, get the bow and arrow out, get the fishing gear good and ready to go. Get a boucan set up so you can smoke all your meat. Yeah, and I'll whisper, no. Rorschach, what a great character. I love that clip where he tells for those of you that haven't seen, oh my goodness, the title just went out of my head. Oh, goodness sakes. The one with Rorschach in it. Jackie Earle Haley, tells them all, I'm not locked in here with you. You're all locked in here with me. I love that scene. That's Watchmen. Thank you. God dang it. Thank you. We're going to do that. You're going to see that a lot. I'll be rattling on about something and just brakes go on. And you're like, what happened to Sheriff? He's having one of those brain damage moments. Morning, Jerry D. Good, man. Good. We got on early. We've been horsing around for a while. Friday chill stream. We got nothing terribly important going on. We're just kicking around the news and laughing at some stuff. Here's why your cities are going to go south. I'll give you a perfect example right here. City Journal. I'm not aware. I just saw this on a aggregate site that I use that throws a bunch. So I don't know City Journal as a news source, but I thought this headline was funny. And it's the headline on the Citizen Free Press, the one that I was looking at, says this is not an Onion headline. And I'm like, oh, I got to click on that. Like, California provides sex change procedures to homeless illegal aliens. You can't even run a city when you have all the amenities of a modern world and all the money that you can possibly scrape up at your disposal. What makes you think you're going to be able to keep things under wraps when society goes Lord of the Flies? Man, them people are just done. They ain't got a hope in hell. Is it a senior moment for my little stun locks? It's a senior moment combined with a little brain damage. I'm taking one too many to the grill. We had, let's show this one that Draken had up. Draken says him and Mom got an agreement. If it ends tomorrow, I'll make a final embarkment to the ranch in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we had one of those in Florida. Still got it too. And if I had to do it on foot, I'd do it. Got a fresh water supply, a lot of filters, a lot of open land, fruit trees, seeds, heirloom seeds. Free fake rack for men and women face. Yeah, with that California story, that just cracks me up. That's the way you want to spend your money. It's priorities, man. That's the way you want to spend your money. Oh, we don't know why we're $80 gajillion in debt. No. We don't know why CalPERS is the largest unfunded liability in the country. I know, because y'all are retards. That's why. You're not supposed to say that. That's a bad word. I'm going to tell you a funny story. My stepdaughter, special needs adult. We've talked about this before. She's, very, very high functioning, can do a lot of things, a lot of fun. Never going to have a job, never going to not live at home, that kind of thing. We're driving, all three of us, we're leaving a function. Me, Mrs. McCoy, the kid. She is what you would, like, if you talked to her for a while, you would tell people, yeah, she's retarded. And you go, okay. Back in the day when you would say that kind of thing. But now it's impolite to say that for the last 10, 20 years, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. We're in the car. My right-handed guy, this is a true story. Somebody pulls out a left turn in front of us. Mrs. McCoy got to kind of make an evasive maneuver a little bit. She's like, son of a bitch. And then, keeps on going. From the back seat, we hear, people are retarded. I'm like, oh, when you get called out by your own kind, you're retarded. That's when it was okay to use that word again. When they're using it, it's okay for you to use it. God, that tickled me no end. And she'll do it every now and again. She'll whip it on somebody does something real stupid. This is a condition of her hanging around me too much. I cuss people out too much when she's around. I shouldn't do that. I'm a bad influence. She picked this up. I did not even know this. I have a favorite word. We were at the mall one day. There's some kids doing something stupid, and one of them fell off of something, got up and was kind of like, ha, 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 but you could tell he was hurt, and he was kind of playing it off. We stopped and looked at him. He got up and went on his way with his partners. And out of the blue, from nowhere, she says one word. She looks at me and she goes, dolt. I'm like, I know damn well you didn't know that word on your own until you met me. And then I felt I had to laugh. I shouldn't have done it because it reinforced it. But I'm like, don't say that to people when they do. Don't say that out loud to people when they do something. It's not a nice word. She goes, yeah, but he is a dolt. And I'm like, yeah, well, there you go. Okay. So she's functioning enough to pick that stuff up. That's one of my favorites. That is one of my all-time. We'll throw Jerry D's work up there real quick. Let everybody take a gander at it. There we go. Another day of fine poetry from Jerry D. Sills, the Sith Lord poet. Yeah, it was, man. It was funny. Kid busts out dolt. I got to tell her too when I hear her say stuff, I go, okay, you can't say that to people. That one you can say to people. That one you can't say to people. And she's like, okay. She's real good at remembering stuff like that. But she'll hear me say it, and then she'll try it out in my presence to kind of find out, can I do this? Like, yeah, you can do that one. She knows all the cuss words and all that. It's funny. She's a funny kid. There's certain things too. She's got that autistic thing. I love having her in the car when I'm going someplace that I've only been one time before, because I'll forget. You can drive me some places like 3-4 times. It just don't stick. But this kid, if she goes someplace one time, we found a comic store one time in town, did Pokemon cards. It was a real good source. And it was kind of out of the way. It was kind of hard to get to. We went there one time, and I was going there the next time, and I had it on Google Maps. And I'm trying to get back to it, and I made a wrong turn. She goes, no, we got to go this way. And I'm like, yeah, but the thing goes this. She goes, we got to go this way. And I've learned. I go, okay. I turn around, and sure enough, right around the block, boom, we were right there. That's the kind of, Rain Man function that she's got. I love having her in the car. If I go someplace for the first time, I'm like, hey, saddle up, kid. We got to go somewhere. Where are we going? Going to a really good hardware store. She goes, I don't want to go to the hardware store. I go, yeah, but I need you to come along to remember where we're going. She's like, okay. I go, we'll go to the Pokemon store after. Okay. She's a blast. She's a resource for some, in many respects, she's like, well, can't do this, can't do that because we got such and such. We got to plan differently. But boy, I tell you what, she's a pretty good resource on a lot of things. She's funny. And then The little McCoy is coming out this summer. Boy, we're going to have a good time. We might get her to guest spot on the show. That might be a good time. Get her on a couple of days and she can tell what an absolute goofball dad can be from time to time. I've got an NYC story here. Do we want to bother spending time with it? Nah, I don't care about New York City and Zoran McDonald's. I don't give a shit. I'm just waiting for that one. They're having a love affair. The media is just, oh, hey, look at all this great stuff. Guy's been there a whopping, month and a half. Yeah, you come see me in 6 months when things have gone completely haywire. It'll be crickets then, boy. Market's up $1,000. Yeah, they're hitting it. Buy the rip. Really bad idea, but they had a story from California about they were pissed because they got this $30, salary thing that companies are like, we're laying everybody off. I love that the kids go out and we want a $30 minimum wage. Okay, sure, okay, all day long. I have learned when people ask for really stupid shit, give it to them. Give it to them. I'll give you an example. My grandfather one time, my brother, this is way back. My mother called my grandfather Mother McCoy, calls Grandpa McCoy. The youngest one's threatening to run away. He's threatening to move out. He's probably 16 at the time, something like that. Grandpa McCoy, help him pack. Well, yeah, but what if he leaves? He'll come back. Help him pack. So that's kind of my theory in life. People ask for really stupid shit, give it to them. You want a $45 minimum wage? You bet, no problem. Hand it to them. Because in 2 months, when there's no job at all, they'll learn, they'll figure it out. When people ask for stupid things, here's another one. We had a couple of, I think I told this on a Saturday night stream after a couple of whiskeys. I worked with a guy that we had these businesses at this really busy intersection, and the kids would always congregate. They had a really big parking lot, and they were complaining about the kids. This guy went up and shut down the whole thing. 2 weekends in a row, Friday and Saturday night. Wrote a bunch of tickets, made a bunch of arrests. The third weekend, boom, kids are gone. Disappeared, never to return. Those businesses that were open, the third week called up complaining that we destroyed their business. Like, you've been calling for months complaining about these kids, and went up and took care of the trespassing problem. Now you're mad because you got no business. Them kids never came back. I was like, give them what when people ask for stupid stuff, give it to them, then stand back. Stand back. So when you want Zoran McDonald's as your mayor, okay. You want a communist as your mayor? Knock yourself out. Have fun. I'll see you in 6 months. Market. Yeah, somebody asked about gold and silver. Let's do commodities real quick. See what they're after. Boy, oil's just tanking. 81.05 current. West Texas still dropping. Brent's 86 still dropping. Natural gas up just a hair. Gasoline straight out, no taxes, $2.89. If you ever want to know what kind of tax you're paying where you're at, bulk gasoline commodity rates right now, $2.89.8. So adjust your price accordingly. You're paying vendor cost, and the rest is tax. Coal's down. Ethanol, everything down. Gold's making a rip. It's up 91 right now. Silver's making a rip. 83. Boy, that was a good pull right there. I don't do gold. Gold's too volatile. I do silver. It's easier. It's a lot more useful than gold. If it's not used as a money, you can use it for other things. Gold's useless as anything other than money and jewelry. That's a good conductor. I shouldn't say that. It's a pretty good conductor. Let's do that. Otherwise, unless you know how to hammer it out flat enough and keep it in one piece, then it's useless. Silver's pretty good. Copper's up. Oh, boy. commodities market's making a run. Okay, fair enough. And food, just so everybody knows, bulk commodities, soybeans, wheat, that kind of thing, palm oil, all that, it's taking a dump. It's absolutely, because they know full well market's about ready to get flooded. Transportation opens up, boom. Man, I love being right. I love being right. Yeah, it's extremely good for silver. Silver is extremely, I bought in a real goofy time. Should have been a rip, wasn't, bought a bunch of it. Waited a little while, 2 years later, bam, cashed in. I ain't ever going to get rid of it though. That ain't for turning into cash. That's for hanging on to for good, for real. That's a keeper. 2 metals I invest in, silver and lead. And 3 metals, brass. You got to run, Spidey? All right. They have promo that real quick. Going to be on Draken's stream tomorrow. Draken, if you got a link, once you put that in the chat, brother, so people can come and find your show for tomorrow. Get you out there in front of everybody. Make sure that everybody gets a chance to see when the show is going to be. They can come by and see you. Should be around 20, yeah. Maybe a little bit more expensive right now. I'd go 22, 23, just as a goof. But yeah, people just bought the hell out of that market. And I'll let them do it. Go for it. Anything that's where my hypocrisy is, as much as I hate it, that's where I'm hypocritical again. I always rail about how overpriced the market is. And then I'm okay with stuff that I happen to physically own, which it's human nature. I ain't ashamed of it. Like, is this overpriced? Yeah, but am I okay with it? Absolutely, man. I'm good with it. If I ever do need to change it in, somebody gets sick, got a, emergency expense, I got to cash out a couple grand of silver in. Sure, we can do that. And I could. Problem is mine's all physical, so it'd be a little bit different trade. But yeah, never ever, if anybody ever offers you paper for any kind of commodity, say no thank you. Unless it's, if you're doing oil trading, what the hell are you doing on this show? If you're doing paper oil trading, you're on the wrong channel right now, because you're listening to a rodeo clown tell you about how you make your living, which is not a good idea. Let's just be clear about that. But yeah, if you're ever doing, if you're storing up just as a protection and you buy silver, which I recommend, gold, that's fine. You can. I wouldn't. Too heavy. And it's going to change in its parity when things go south. Silver's pretty good. Silver's pretty good as a money and as a useful metal, but never ever buy paper. If somebody says, well, we'll buy you contracts on it. Nope. Physical silver. Physical metals. If you don't, that's true of anything you invest in other than the market. Part of why I got out of the market, I could never touch it. It was I didn't get to make the choices that I wanted to make unless I wanted to become a day trader, which I am not going to do. I already had a job. I didn't need another one. And then the other thing was, if I don't own it, if I don't hold it, I don't own it. I like things I can touch. And then I changed everything. I took everything I had on paper and turned it into land, water, precious metals, certain elements that are required, brass, lead, medical supplies, stuff that you ain't going to be able to get for a while after it goes south, but you can eventually, if you know what you're doing, kind of remake yourself. Really good. I highly recommend, if you don't own a compound bow or have never learned archery, give it a whack. Not only is it very useful, but god dang, it's entertaining. I love archery. I can't wait to get my shoulder fixed. I can get out, start putting them down range again. Of all the things that I don't do that I did a few months ago, that's the one I miss the most. I was just getting really good at it too. I was real late in life. Shit, it wasn't but 2 years ago I got into archery. Some old boy I was playing cards with hooked me up on that one day. I told him I was getting bored with shooting, and he looked at me and goes, really? Tell me about that. And I told him my whole backstory, and he goes, well, it sounds like you're ready for archery. And he was a professional archer, to be fair, competitive archer for most of his life. He was very old the time we were hanging out, so he wasn't doing it anymore. But he's like, oh yeah, go out and give it a shot. And he kind of pointed me in the right direction. And then, boy, I got hooked right off the bat. My first arrow, first one I loosed, I was like, oh yeah, Yeah. Sheriff found him a new hobby, and I did. Boy, I hit it hard. It's fun. Really good tool to hang around. Hell of a lot cheaper than shooting. Even if you reload your own. Hell of a lot cheaper. It was rough on the pocketbook the first couple of months because I was going through a lot of replacement, fletchings and arrows and tips and all that kind of thing. But the bow was solid and it sticks around. Once you get it kind of broke in, you go out and get it restrung. They put it together real nice. There you go. Get up there in front of everybody. Thank you, Darth. Draken Culture Media. I got a date with you guys, May 9th, I believe it is. I'm looking forward to that. Sorry about that scheduled thing, by the way. I looked at it, and I mean, the minute I sent that email, I was like, uh-oh. I think that's the day we got to go judge this thing. And sure enough, it was. Mrs. McCoy's like, what are you doing, stupid? I'm like, oh, sorry. She didn't add the stupid part. I make that up. She's an amazing human being. I always do that too. I make that joke, but what are you doing, stupid? She goes, yeah, like I've ever called you stupid. Stupid. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, tomorrow morning, I'll just go check out the show. If you haven't checked out the channel, run over and just check out the channel, give them a sub. They got some bangers on there. When we wrap this up, I'm gonna let Daily do their thing, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get a bite to eat. I'm gonna do some gaming this afternoon. I think Mrs. McCoy might be getting off early, so I may not stick to that. But tomorrow morning for sure, we're gonna bust into Dinkum, some other stuff. We're gonna have a good. I have not seen it yet, Darth. I did not open up mail. I was too busy fumbling around with OBS like a retard. Lost power and everything got shot to shit, and I couldn't get myself out of it. And I'm like, okay, back to StreamYards for today. I have to retake down the whole OBS studio and go all over again. A pain in the ass. But I'll check it out. Promise. I'll check it out. I'll get back to you. There you go. Draken. Just got you a sub, Draken. There you go. And if you haven't subbed up over here, I'll do the thing. That's okay, Cole. You get to her. I understand, Cole Hauser. You didn't have time to reply because you're big time now. You got all the big Hollywood types. You got the big YouTube stars coming on your channel now. I'm going to pound that into the ground. That's fun. If y'all didn't know, if anybody hasn't been following Cole Hauser, which you should be, get on over to Cole Hauser's channel, give him a sub. But after you're done subbing here and liking and all that YouTube stuff, go over to Cole Hauser's channel, sub up. He got some bangers on there and good MW2 gaming streams. But he recently got monetized, which I think is, man, that's a big deal. That is, I love to see that. People jump in and get successful and hit it. And he's got some bangers on there. He's had Az on already. He's got Drinker coming up. Had Ryan on. You got some, I love you guys. You guys' Star Wars show. That was fun. That was a good time. But head on over there. He just got monetized. Drop him a super. Give him a couple likes. I like when you guys when you put Modern Warfare on at night, because I usually got something on in the background that I'm doing. I get to listen to you guys cut up. That's fun. And you're pulling down some good names, so good on you. Congratulations. Radicalized and highly monetized. That ain't no lie. See, that's what I'm saying. You got some big names on there. You had Draken on there first thing right out of the gate, man. We've done a couple of shows in different venues, been on Outlaws. He's been on one of my shows. We did that Friedkin retrospective, and he's got one coming up with Mo Zamboni. Outstanding. I like me some Mo. I got to you know what? Do me a favor. I don't have Mo's contact. Throw him my contact information and ask him if he wants to do a show. Tell him, give me a holler. He wants to do a movie show or something. I'll get him on. We'll do a weird Omaha specific show for about 20 minutes and then bust into something funny. You tell some good stories. Yeah, Drinker's gonna be a good time. We've talked about that. There's some. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. I don't know why I didn't run him down sooner. I was on there last night. We were horsing around. I made a joke about the Omaha coppers. For those that haven't been following the news, that gal that was waving the knife around the Walmart and abducted that cute little 3-year-old kid, Cy, and then slashed him on the side of the face, and Omaha just dropped her in her socks. Omaha PD. I got on last night and we made a joke. We're both from there originally, and I dropped a fun super on him. He laughed. I thought that was funny. So yeah, I'd love to get him on a show. Still waiting on the Power Rangers stream from over at, that better be Coles, because I know Power Rangers like I know brain surgery. Sadly. I'm not a Sense Corn. Got one tonight. I love that you got all your stuff lined up like 3 days in advance. That's fun. I can always tell. I never have to worry about, well, I wonder what he's got going on. You got the studio set up days in advance. I'm going to learn to get organized one of these days and do that. Not right now, but eventually. Oh, hell. You know what? You guys are great. Thanks so much for coming along this morning. I love that y'all showed up. I'm sorry that it went sideways. So we should have been on about 15 minutes sooner, but technology kind of kicked me in the balls first thing in the morning, and then it took me some time to get back. But we got back on our feet and we had a good time. I feel we covered about a gajillion different things. We did not do much entertainment stuff. I don't think there's much going on. I'm gonna go back over Gary's stream and see if from yesterday and see if that Avengers Doomsday trailer ever came out. I doubt it. Anyway, man, I could do this all day. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna do something real quick. Who's on? It doesn't look like they have fired up yet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're firing up right now. All right. I'm going to get out of here. We can roll over to Daily and see what they got going on. And then if Mrs. McCoy doesn't have chores for me, I'm going to get back on this afternoon, do a little gaming. We can horse around some more. Thank you all for coming by. I appreciate it. As always, it's a complete blast. Man, I love this hobby. It ain't even a job. This is a great hobby. This is the best hobby I've had in entertainment yet. Hit Mike up too. He said if we ever get it scheduled, he wanted in. Epic Mickey. Yeah, that'd be a good time. That'd be fun. You guys ever have an opening? Keep the old sheriff in mind. Give me a holler. I'd love to show up and kick around with you cats. That'd be fun. I promise I won't bring any clips. We'll keep her on the square. All right. Until then, let's get out of here. Let's go check out Daily. Have a good weekend, y'all. I'll see you a little bit later on today. God bless you so much. Thank you for coming by. Be good to yourselves. Be good to other people, especially the other people that we don't feel like being good to, because that's what the good Lord told us to do. God love y'all. Thanks for coming by. I will see you a little bit later on today and this weekend for sure. Tomorrow morning, we're going to fire up and just kick back and do some gaming. Stick around for the outro, and I'll catch you. God bless you.
I'm just about done here. I never did know your name.
Yes, you do. Take care.
Yes, sir, Captain.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
It's the end of the road. You bastards!
Between Glamorgan and Yorkshire, the Yorkshire bowler Nicholson took 8 wickets for 3 runs. Glamorgan were all out for 36 and therefore won the match by an innings and 7 runs. Weather for tomorrow will be cloudy with occasional outbreaks of rain. And that is the end of the news.
And now? Can we go home now?